Hello, welcome to Spiritual Soul Centre. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's absolutely beautiful to have you here joining us today. I'm so grateful for everybody that does tune in and that does leave comments and feedback and everything like that. We really do appreciate it. It helps build the channel, and it just helps us really like connecting with you guys and feel like we're building a sense of a community. Minnie wants to join in that community as well. And it's kind of just a really nice feedback that we get from you guys when you enjoy a video or when you enjoy certain aspects of a video. And I know Dugyu always likes it when people comment as well, because she loves reflections on how people experience things. So please don't be afraid to leave out any feedback, any things you want us to cover, or any things you want us to explain in more detail in the comments of any of us videos. But I just wanted to put that out there because it can be really helpful for everyone to learn, and you never know, someone might just have the same question as you. So that's just a little thing I wanted to add there. We've also got the sense of what I wanted to add in today is we really wanted to talk about the higher heart, about the activations of self, and about the activations inside the heart space, because that's something for us each individually on our journey that we have all experienced. And throughout our journey, as much as you guys will have experienced this as well, it is so important to drop into the heart space and to have connections into the heart space. Like, that is something that is crucial when you live in a life of, higher consciousness, connected consciousness, Christ-like, whatever you want to call that. When you are connected in that way, it's so important to know and recognize how to activate the heart, how to drop into the heart space, and how to recognize when someone else is coming from the heart vibration, and just kind of picking up on that and what that even means. So we've got some beautiful ladies joining in today. Dugyu is actually not at home, so our internet is not as stable as we'd like. So we do apologize for any internet connection crashes or lags or anything like that. But it's just part of life, isn't it? So we're just working with what we've got, and we're just flowing with it, and we're sending the angels to stabilize the internet connection and holding some light in place. So we'll just do what we can today, but we do apologize in advance if there is any sense of crashing or lagging there with Dugyu's camera. Anything that needs a relay or anything, we'll pop that in the comments, or I'll add some captions over the video. So we've got, as always, the beautiful Trisha, authentic aura crystals, and then we've got the beautiful Dugyu joining us today. I do realize that we don't always have a different mixture of guests on here. We are working on getting different guests on, but I hope you guys enjoy, like me, working with familiar energies and finding a flow with certain groups and certain energies. Like, I've really found a flow with these two ladies myself, in terms of the way we all communicate, the way we all express ourselves, the way we are all kind of in flow and respect and kindness, but also recognition and awareness. And in the most humble, kindest ways, we kind of like check each other, but in the nicest way, again, from the heart space. And it's sometimes a case of, like, well, where's that coming from? Or where's that intention? And, where's that feeling coming from within you? So I think it is important to create a circle or a group or a community that we can have that in. And I've really felt that we've created that in our little group here, and the dynamic that me, Trish and Dugyu have. And that's why I really enjoy working with these ladies and doing group calls, because there is such a synchronicity and such a flow to the way we all communicate and these weekly videos. So I do think it's something we will continue, hopefully on a Monday, to just kind of set that intention out there, to connecting with you guys and also connecting with each other, and just to spread awareness on the current energies that are going on and different topics of the week. So I will stop rambling on now, and I will let one of the other beautiful ladies to kind of join in today, because what we're going to be talking about is the higher heart and the activations of the higher heart. And I think the best place to start is that, what does that mean to you guys? Like, what does the heart space mean? What does the higher heart mean? What kind of feeling does that create in your vessel, and kind of why is that relevant to you guys?
Did you do an intro of yourself? And introducing Anya.
No, I don't usually introduce me. They've got my old videos. They can go find all about me further down.
High heart activations. High heart, like, I'll start off with like a feeling and an emotion in my body. There are moments where I see humanity in real life, and it does this thing with my heart where it squeezes it, and then it like like it does this thing where it goes poof, expands it. And I'm sitting there being like, whoa, what a cool experience. Because it's like a moment's time where what I thought was a limiting belief, and it could be a criticism of other, all of a sudden changes. And I'm like, what? Like the moment where someone stands up when the bus is full for a pregnant woman or an elderly person, my heart expands so much in those little moments.
Yeah.
Or when someone holds the door, it's something so little, but it's this moment of just like, whoa, oh yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know we don't owe anything to one another. So that's what it feels like from that perspective. Trisha?
So, yeah, I mean, I've been on a really deep healing journey recently and gone through really deep layers. And then something happened last week, and I didn't even know I needed to heal. And that really, really opened my heart space to the higher heart. And I was like, wow, I healed that too. So there's so many things coming up for healing. And it is beautiful.
Yeah. And it really is like we all have a heart as a human. And I think most people know what that means. Like, oh, we have a heart, and we all have felt like a moment of love or a moment of compassion or a moment of like, joy in his heart. But I think what makes this special is like what Dugyu was saying, is when it's that expansion, when you feel like what you went through this week, Trish, when you feel the perspective from someone else's side, when you feel that love that we've maybe never even thought about or we never recognize, and we observe it and we feel it to such an extent. I get it when I'm watching videos and, you see certain videos of just such acts of kindness and bravery and things like that. And it just, oh God, I cry my eyes out like a little girl. I'm so, I love it because it's such a sense of humanity and it's a sense of connection and it's a sense of those are the people that make you have hope in humanity, and those are the people that remind you that this is what we are fighting for, to create an earth where people do feel like we are capable and able to support other people in situations like that rather than just recording it. I mean, it has become a very desensitized and emotionless society when there is times of crisis and emergency and people are just stood in crowds recording it. It is a very sad thing to see. So I think that's why it activates our heart in such a deep level, because we are used to seeing acts that are not as human and as heart-centered in the earth that we've been living in. We've been exposed to a lot of coldness and a lot of separation and a lot of division and a lot of anger and a lot of rage and fear. And so when we see people going out of their way, even whilst being a product of that environment and acting in that level of love and that level of higher heart, that to me, I think is why it keeps me going and why it reminds me of what I'm doing, because it's like there is other people out there that are also trying to make that world a more activated and lighter place than what it is now, Yeah,
definitely. And it's your growth, Yeah. I grew, I didn't want to go into too much detail, but I grew so much this week. I've grown loads in the past few months. I meant to take that extra step. And not, observing it afterwards and thinking, wow, I've grown again. And it's your growth and you deserve that growth.
Yep.
And really step into the heart space.
On Dugyu.
100. Thank you. What I love about all of this is that there is the growth, like individually on our own, being self-aware, being like, whoa, I didn't even realize I thought those things about myself, let alone other. And it does not happen in isolation. It always happens in reflection with community, in reflection with the person across from you, in reflection of like the things that are happening in your environment that is like, oh, I'm seeing what I'm seeing because it's a reflection of my perception. Reflection of my perception.
That'd be a good song.
And also
reflection of my perception.
Oh, girl, you know. really cool. Like you and I met, in such, like, on social media. You know, our ages are different. Our interests are similar, but also like we didn't really know, and our followings are kind of like similar, right? It's not like we have huge followings, and nor is that the intention. It's like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we're doing things in this very different kind of way, and we just connected. I don't even know who slid into whose DM first.
I know. I think it might have been me to you, but then you sent me a really beautiful message like a couple of days later, all about the music and the singing, which was really beautiful.
Yes. Okay, so I feel like that was something where I was, I think we were just commenting on each other's things, and then we decided to like message each other. And I remember being activated, and I was just like, I feel like singing you this. And then I remember, and it was a voice recording. And remember like recording that to you, and then you were like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe this. And then you shared something super personal about yourself, and I was like, I would believe it, because this is what I believe if it happens in community. And the reflections of the high heart in community is the best part, because we get a reflection of what our heart is capable of doing in our body. But then we also get a reflection of what our heart is capable of doing in terms of caring and compassion and being in our truth. And then also caring about what I'm saying to the person across from me, who might be triggering me or pissing me off, or saying a truth about me that I'm not ready to face at that moment.
Right. And, you know, I think one of the things to also point out is when you live in a heart space way, when you live in a vibration of love and awareness, and that doesn't mean that you walk around living all light and love. One of my favorite quotes to say is a little bit of love and light and a bit of go fuck yourself, because you have to have the balance in terms of creating that whole energy of self-respect, self-love, as well as love for others, and you know, service to self and service to others. That's the whole point. But I think what that can trigger in other people is when you're recognizing and bringing awareness to maybe unhealthy dynamics, unhealthy patterns, toxic energy, and you're the one that's living in heart space to raise awareness to that, you can end up triggering a lot of people, and that can end up being reverberated onto you as like a negative thing, and people can project onto you and attack onto you their own unhealed trauma. And this happened to me quite recently, and it literally takes everything in my human not to respond in the same way they're attacking me in defense mode. I recognize myself wanting to go into fight or flight defense and attack back, or, you know, justify or whatever. Whereas it takes everything to breathe through that trigger and to recognize why that person is projecting onto you in the way they are, and why they are trying to make you feel that way, or why they are projecting that emotion onto you. And I think that's a part of your journey when you recognize, oh shit, I'm actually a more healed version than I used to be. Because we don't get medals throughout this journey, or like an award, like, there you go, you got that, you know, you've just passed this level, as I talk about before. We don't get that. So sometimes on this journey, it's about looking back, thinking, oh yeah, the way I would have responded to that 6 months ago or a year ago would have been completely different to how I just responded to that then, which is an example of the growth and the healing that has been taking place throughout your own inner journey. And I think it is so important to recognize that just because you live in heart space and you're living in that heart space centered energy doesn't mean that those around you will automatically just fall into that. And it also doesn't mean that people won't reflect onto you their unhealed heart space and their unhealed trauma just as you're living in yours. So I think that is really important to recognize and to just raise awareness on. Like, living in the heart space is not always an easy, happy, fairy life. You know, it can sometimes be really triggering and really challenging and really lonely, you know. So just have awareness for the fact that it's not always the lovingest thing, but if you're living to your heart, then that's how you know you're in tune with self.
Well, because like at that moment when we are living in that heart space, what's actually happening is that when there's things coming up in our awareness that isn't of heart space, which is going to be a constant, like the only constant in life is change. And so if we're not constantly getting like, but I'm always in my heart and I'm always compassionate and loving and like all of this. Also, a gust of wind just blew the cherry blossoms up into the air in front of me, and it was just so beautiful to witness. And to say, oh, okay, right? So this is that opportunity for me to stay in my heart space, because to say that I'm in my heart space is different than embodying it. And embodying it really looks like coming from a place of neutrality and non-reactivity and being like, I understand why you're like that, and having compassion for the other person and knowing that it's my responsibility to reflect to that person what they're doing. I can do it in a way where I'm like, hey, that's not okay, what you're doing. Like, it's not okay. So you need to stop it. I could say it in that way. Or I can be like, I understand why you reacted that way. And then see the difference in how that person's heart opens up right after. Like in those two situations. Because more likely than not, second situation, they're totally going to. Yes, Trisha?
Sorry, no, I was just like, yeah, definitely, 100%. Definitely. And I was saying, so yeah, it come up for me the other day. So it came up, you know, the saying is, don't think that, don't take the niceness for weakness. So, you know, you're allowed to still stand your ground and be in that heart space.
Yep. Exactly that. And also, you know, I think it's also important to remember that nobody did make history by following the rules and by sitting there playing nice and saying yes sir, no sir. You know, no powerful woman in history books did what she was told. And I think that's important to recognize, that being spiritual, being activated, living in higher light, living in higher heart, living in Christ consciousness, it's not about living in, ooh, everything's nice, give everybody, everything's all floaty, you know. It's just not, that's not true. It's not true. And if you're setting yourself up for living like that, you'll be trying to get to an expectation and an end that does not exist, because that's not reflective of the human experience. The human experience is feeling the difference between a stationary level heart and that boom activation, that expansion. If we lived in that state, we'd never recognize how beautiful and powerful it is, because that's why it takes us away. That's why it blows us away in that moment. That's why seeing a beautiful view, a scenery or a painting can create that activation within our hearts and within our souls, because it's literally speaking in a frequency language. You know, whether that's music, an event, as nice, seeing someone do beautiful things, or just having a most activating conversation where someone held space and really provided love. You know, like even the gestures people make, the actions people do, all these can activate our higher heart. But it's important to reflect on the fact that it's because of the contrast, which is why we experience the beautiful things in the way we do, because we've experienced things that are maybe not so beautiful, or even just like a standard level of, you know, not necessarily too much. So when we experience that joy, that love, it can be a really beautiful thing, and it can be a really powerful, overwhelming thing in the most beautiful ways. But I think the hardest thing for people to do is to stay there, is to stay in that vibration and to hold that vibration of higher heart.
And I just
go on.
My apologies. I didn't mean to.
No, it's all right. I was nearly done anyway. So I'm done.
I also want to say that, like, living in the high heart doesn't mean it's just kindness. Kindness and being nice and being, you know, like, I just have to find a nicer way to say this. No, being in the high heart is knowing when sacred anger comes through, it's coming through for a second. Then the responsibility after that anger has finished, in order to move that emotion and that energy, is to come back to neutral. Mm-hmm. And then to work from a place where you're working together with the person. Hey, that was a shitty thing that you did. And then coming back and being like, and I'm okay, like I'm ready to like move forward, and like, what kind of solution do you think we should co-create together?
Right.
So important.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, also deciding when to separate.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. You know, sometimes I will not even get into a discussion. It's like, it sounds awful, but it's like wasting my energy. So I'm not going to do that. You know, I'll stand firm within who I am.
Mm-hmm. But that's within your rights to do that. Like, that also is in your highest heart intention sometimes and theirs, that if that relationship, that friendship, that connection is causing more of a negative reverberation or a negative consequence or a low vibrational reflection in both parties, rather than it creating the higher love and the heart, then that's where we have to make a choice of, is this worth continuing to try and put that effort into communicate and fix this and implement boundaries? Are both parties at a level where they are matching frequencies even somewhat to work together, or are they at completely polar opposites of the scale, you know? And this is where over time, especially with awakening and ascension, where you have to reflect on your own journey and who's and this sounds really bad, but who's worth investing all your time and energy and love into? Because if you just invest it into everyone unconditionally, then you're not going to be able to get a true reflection of that exchange, because you're just giving. Like, it has to be people that are valuing work. What?
You'll be worn out.
Yeah, exactly. But it has to be like they value your worth, you value theirs. And it's an exchange of respect, love, honesty, kindness. And that goes for anything: friendships, relationships, family members. There has to be a basic minimum from both sides. And if there's not that, that is really important that Trish mentioned that, because you can't just keep giving and giving from the heart space if there isn't that basic minimum being given from both sides. And I think that's when, you know, we can all get angry. Like, anger's my kryptonite, which I think that's what you call it on Superman. It's something that, you know, I try and avoid, but then I don't want to suppress stuff, but it's because I used to explode too much. So now I have to try and find a balance between expression in a healthy way and not suppressing my actual emotion, but also, you know, honoring the inner teen, honoring the inner child, and honoring when I need to implement a boundary in place, but also then not taking that to the extreme of allowing them emotions to overwhelm my sense of being, and then projecting out anger as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so this is a really beautiful segue, because we're all activated, and to be mutually activated in this high heart space, and to realize, like, ladies, there is something we're doing together for the world. Like, this is not just something we're experiencing, just the three of us. There is something that is happening within this high heart space that is being called to, let's do something. So let's talk about the juiciness of some of the offerings that we have going.
Yes, for sure. Because, yeah, just going back to when we met Dugyu, them, you know, them series of messages. And then it was like, we really have taken the time, not consciously, but we've really taken the time then to build up a friendship and a connection and communication. And I think that is being kind of the key thing in terms of establishing that before going into working in these workshops and things like this. Because me and Trish obviously already have our own dynamic going on. And Trish really does trust my judgment in terms of when working with other people as well. So once I had established a connection and a friendship with working with you, Dugyu, it was really easy to find this dynamic of working as a three. And as I mentioned at the beginning, you know, I think we all bring something so relevant and so different and unique. And it's no secret that every single one of us has been through the whole level of this journey. So what we're going to bring to the workshop, specifically the Higher Heart Activation Workshop, is a journey through the inner child, the inner teen, the adult self, and activating the heart space and being able to remain in and navigate through them journeys, but also have self-recognition, self-awareness, tips, techniques, and meditation and activity workshops, worksheets that we're going to be working through in terms of helping you guys navigate through that journey in a workshop day. And as I was saying, we've all experienced a little like slice of the whole expansion of this journey, but we're giving then back to you guys a little slice each of a section of that journey. And I'll let Dugyu talk about what she'll be bringing, because I think, Dugyu, you'll be starting off more in the early. We'll get together, do a but yours is the first workshop kind of thing at the beginning, the activities. So if you want to tell them a small bit about what your intention is for that and just kind of what vibe you're feeling into there. Unless she's frozen.
Yeah, thank you. So am I good?
Yeah, your audio's on. At least we can hear you. It's all good. It's all good.
Awesome. Okay, so what I really love is this concept about letting the inner child express and be, and like be safe to express, which all brings it back into this watery, fiery, like reclamation and take responsibility as adults, which is incredibly vital on this journey, is reparenting that inner child and taking responsibility for our emotions, knowing that it's coming up for a reason, and able to feel so free to do a little jump and a little dance, and to like sing a little if you want, or to express yourself, or to show your art, or to do something, because our inner child is the thing that connects us to our creativity, to our imagination, and then the highest form of all of those is our intuition.
Yep.
Which is a great segue for the inner teen.
Yeah, which is where I'll be taking on a little section there. So I'll be doing all to do with kind of claiming your own power, your own finding that recognition of honoring the inner teen, because I think out of the healing journey, the inner teen does get forgotten about and like left out of this scenario, because we do a lot of work in the childhood, we do a lot of work with the inner child, but the inner teen is the one that is the rebellious, the defensive, the one that creates the fuck no, fuck off attitude, because that is what that is what we have, that sense of, that's where that comes from. So when we're having blockages like that, like, oh no, and it's not necessarily a sad thing, sometimes it is anger, sometimes it is also not feeling capable, not feeling confident, not feeling comfortable, feeling like that little teenager in a room and nobody likes you. Them insecurities actually come from the inner teen. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a subconscious journey through the inner mind, and then I'm also going to be doing some worksheets to recognize when the inner teen's present and how we connect with the inner teen in ways that allow more flow and actually create room for them in our life, in our daily life. So that'll then lead really well onto Trisha's segment, which is further on throughout the day, where I will let her tell you what she'll be covering.
Yeah, so mine will be reclaiming the mind back, changing negative to positive, and reaching the adult you. Some worksheets to stay there within that, and just really dropping into that heart space and staying in the mind.
Yeah,
the positive mind.
Great techniques. You're going to be doing some worksheets, some affirmations, reprogramming that. We're going to also be giving some like preparation worksheets before the workshop, and then after the workshop there'll be some worksheets to be able to do, and then maybe a Zoom call afterwards to reconnect back in with everybody. There will be lots of different things, and we'll be able to do a Q&A at the end of the day as well. And mostly it's about us holding space for you guys to activate your higher heart, to recognize the heart vibration, to be able to sit with that and move through that. Like I said, we all bring kind of the full expansion of this journey. So working together on this, it's like we've all kind of picked a little niche and a little topic that we're working through, and bringing our way of methods and our techniques and our little bit of magic that we bring onto that. And let me say, I feel personally very confident and comfortable working with these ladies and feeling in such flow. And I don't think there's anyone more capable of just finding this synchronicity for what we're going to do in this workshop day. And I'm really excited for that. So all the details for that are on the website. I've put a link below the video. It's on, was it Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember which day it was.
I'm sure, I think it was Sunday.
Sunday, I thought so. So I think it's the Sunday, the 23rd of April, 3 p.m. till 6:30 p.m. It will be hosted on Zoom. So it will be an online workshop. That's UK time, GMT time. All the details, like I said, linked below for that. But I just really wanted to kind of, raise awareness to the fact that, there's two of you. I just wanted to raise awareness to the fact that that's what we'll be doing. And it's also about making it fun. It's also about making it activating and light and joyful and connecting in. And it's kind of a preempt, because we'll be doing lots more workshops, but we'll be running a retreat in July. So that's really exciting. We're all so excited about that. We'll be running a retreat in July in Spain. So a lot of the details are just getting finalised. The tickets for that will be on sale on Saturday, the 1st of April. So yeah, it's really exciting, guys. You can find all the information in the links below. There's a retreat group chat on Telegram where some information are in there. And there's also all the different links to the website and everything like that. So please get in touch, and please feel free to join me and Trish on a Tuesday for our Tuesday night development sessions, where we cover everything from meditation, healing, mediumship, wand making, cord cutting, protection, psychic energy. It's like little intros, little smaller bits too. Like, what would you say it is, Trish? It's like little bite-sized things of everything.
Yeah.
It's like a buffet.
And just the community in it for the people.
Right. It's a
like
very
people. Yeah, they're beautiful.
very chill vibe. It's a very non like strict, you know, we all very much laugh and just know each other and connect in, and it can create a sense of community and support for each other, and they're just a beautiful group. And all the chats are down below, so please just get in touch. But just remember that you guys are already activated, whether you work with us or anywhere else or on your own. You know, you can get to this level of activation through wherever you're drawn to. That can be out in nature, that can be working with other people. Just please go where your heart is telling you. And if you struggle with that, get outside in nature, close your eyes and feel into the heart space. Literally hold your heart, hold your stomach and your heart, and breathe and connect into that. Feel the love, feel the energy. You know, we could all do that for a little second now, is to just feel that heart space and just to drop in there, just to really feel that love and that vibration, and just give yourself an affirmation of love, that I am worthy, I am loved, I am whole, I am healing, I am proud of myself, and I am capable of anything that I desire. And just trust in yourself, trust in your heart. Lucy, we'd love to see you in Spain. Come join us. Join the Telegram group below for all the details and everything. There will be a Zoom call. I forgot to mention that. There's a Zoom call Saturday, the 1st of April, 15:15, with me, Dugyu, Trisha, and a couple of other members of the team about the retreat. So any questions you have, all the pricing, all the payment plans, everything will be on there. So please feel free to join us on the Zoom link. That's in the Telegram group already, but it can be resent out to anybody. So yeah, just get in touch and connect with us. And just remember to love yourselves and come from the heart space. And if you are wanting to activate the heart, going through the journey of the inner child, the inner teen, the adult self, navigating that with these two beautiful ladies and myself, please do get in touch. The link's down below for that. And that was at the end of April. So for anybody that's coming to Manchester, I will see you there. Anybody in Ireland, I will see you there. I'm very excited. Trish will be joining us. She's bringing a lot of her sterling silver jewellery to Manchester and a couple of other things at the stall. So yeah, we're all really excited to see you, and we're excited to see Dugyu in person in July. So I'll stop rambling off and I will get off, but lots of love to everyone. So much love and joy. Remember, a little bit of love, light, and a bit of go fuck yourselves. Hold the light, guys. Hold the love. See you later. Have a great day. Take care.
Bye-bye.